All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your good old boy JR coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. We have a lot to cover today. It is week 17 of the NFL season. We are getting ready for our weekly picks. But before we do that, we do have a couple news. I know we've been out for a little bit. I have been dealing with a little bit of a sickness and everything, so have been missing for a little bit, but I am glad to be back, and I want to thank you guys for the ultimate support that is going to tune in right now and that will tune in later. So thank you very much. Brandon will be joining me as always. It's always fun to have him on and everything. So it's going to be a good time. So we do have a lot to cover. So as you guys know, this is the last week, second to last week for the Pick'em show. This is the last week. Next week it'll be all on Friday, because I believe that there's going to be some games as well on Saturday next week, but we will get to that when we get to that. And here he is joining me on Instagram Live. Brandon, my man, what's happening, bro?
What's up, man?
How you feeling, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. How you feeling, man?
Way better than I did. Way better than I did. Just been dealing with a little bit of a sickness and work and everything, and it's just one of those things. But I'm all good now. Back to normal. Thank God. How was your Christmas? Did you get everything you wanted?
Well, the Saints won, so yeah.
Okay, well, the Raiders did not, so I did not get everything I wanted. So, but let's get into it before we do get into our pick'em shows, because I know we've been missing for a couple weeks now, for a little bit, and that's fine. Like I said, totally on me, but we feel fine. We're gonna go back to it. Nathaniel Tuckett, whatever, the guy from Denver, he's gone.
Yeah.
The guy from Denver gone.
That dude.
All right, that dude from Denver gone. Look, I think it was no secret. It just right. It just wasn't working. Now Denver's back to where they started. They need a new head coach now. Denver just has problems and they have issues, and they can't really justify it now because they gave the first rounder to Seattle. They do have a first rounder, and it belongs to San Francisco, but by the way that's looking, San Francisco looks like they're going to be picking a little later than they would like. But yeah, I think my first reaction is thank goodness for the career of Russell Wilson. Now they didn't have to commit to Nathaniel. They didn't have to commit. So really from the training, like Shannon said, I think everybody just figured that they were just a quarterback away from Denver being somebody, and it didn't work out that way. But this is still a very good job for the next guy to come in. You got a franchise quarterback. You have an elite defense, even though it didn't look like that on Saturday. You still have a great defense. You still have a good team. You just need a guy to ride the ship. So I guess what was your reaction, Brandon, if you had any? Because my reaction was just, duh, this had to happen. Duh, of course. Why wouldn't you do this?
Juan, when we started this season, I think me and you both had Denver really high up, and
Yeah.
that train like week 3.
Yes, it's very disappointing. Yes. I'm out like the Titanic. I'm out of here.
Yep, this offense is not good. I saw that shit a mile away.
Yeah.
Am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised at all. What I'm surprised by how long
it took. Yeah.
That's really where it gets stuff, because I don't know if it's anybody that isn't like, I don't even respond to him anymore. It's just like we don't even listen It's too.
It's just a
damn time.
I know.
Without a quarterback.
I know.
Ever look.
I know. I know.
This is for the wrong. Got a head coach.
Yep.
You're gonna get Aaron Rodgers. The quarterback you want.
I think there has to be there's going to be names. There's going to be names. And Denver is an attractive job. Let's not get it twisted. But like you said, you have to put faith back into the team believing in Russell Wilson. And I think it was just a bad take. You know what? We had a bad year. Let's just take this time off. Let's enjoy our off season. Let's get better. And then we'll come back to this shit.
And I think what you just said is very interesting because what the first thing the owner of the Denver Broncos said, the new head coach would not respond, would not be talking to the GM. He would be talking to me.
And that's and you know what? I'm okay with that. There should be just you, GM, head coach, and owner. That's it. But we're going to see how this rolls. We're going to see who wants to take on that role.
I think people would love it if they knew what Russ' mindset is.
I think his mindset is still the same. I think he wants to win in Denver, and it's a wait and see.
I think he does, but I think also it's hard for a head coach to walk into a job like that, knowing that the team has more investment in Russ than they do in you.
It's like I said, I think they're going to have to bring in. They can't go for a young guy. They're going to have to bring in. They're going to have to bring in an old school dude. And the only person I could think of, you're going to have to break up the Brinks truck, and that's Sean Payton. You're gonna.
I'm about to say Sean, but I wouldn't be surprised if they also get Frank Wright.
That's another dude. So I mean, like I said, Denver's an attractive job. It's just who's going to be the one to take it, and who's going to be the one that's going to have to accept the fact. And remember, the only reason Frank Wright left originally was because him and Jeremy say couldn't see eye to eye.
Yeah.
So now that you're bringing that in, you're going to have to be straight up with Frank. So we'll see. Now, in other news, as one door's closing, another one's opening. The Las Vegas Raiders have benched Derek Carr, and it looks like it's over. From what I'm reading, Derek Carr is going to play somewhere else in 2023. And because of his contract, guess what? It is actually not that hard to move. Who gives a fuck? Like, no. Please enlighten me how I'm going to miss all those playoff victories and division titles and Super Bowl appearances. Quarterback of the Raiders. Wait, what was that? We've never won the division with him. We never got a playoff victory. We never went to the Super Bowl. He actually has a losing record as a 9-year starter, and he actually got a raise being a loser. Okay, then who cares? So there it is. There's my reaction. Go ahead, Brandon.
I just saw this on, I don't know, like on Facebook. No, I saw the NFL Network, NFL thing. It just sent me. It was like, is Derek Carr a good fit for the Saints? I'm like, I don't want it to be. I was like, I don't want it to be. I mean, it's two jobs I've seen. Two people say quarterbacks. They're like Tom Brady and Derek Carr. I'm like, who the fuck wants these guys? Like, who is watching this shit? And like, yeah, that'd be a great fit. No, it won't be. Why? Listen, I mean, shit. If Sean Payton comes back, then yeah, give me Derek Carr. I think he'll figure it out. But I just saw Derek Carr with Josh McDaniels. There's no figuring that shit out. He literally, now yeah, you can sit here and say the injuries kicked in, Hunter Winter wasn't there. Darren Waller wasn't there. But you had Devontae fucking Adams. Like, it's just like Green. You know how much Green Bay is praying that Devontae Adams just like, you know what, I made a fucked up decision. You know how much they're praying for him to be like, maybe I should go back to Green Bay. You know how much they're praying for that? Like, you had.
Well, especially now that Christian Watson, is starting to show out a little bit. I mean, last week was sort of a blunder, but up until that point, Christian Watson's been showing out.
It's just, I don't listen. I am not surprised. I mean,
I'm going to put it to this very lightly, and I don't mean to cut you off. I'm going to put this very lightly. When they take everything into consideration, QBR, rate, completion percentage, passing yards, touchdowns, interceptions, when you are ranked 33rd in the whole NFL, there's only 32 NFL teams. Raider fans, I'm talking to I'm talking to Derek Carr fans that are Raider fans. I know what you're thinking. Well, who are you going to bring in? Apparently anybody else. So listen, I get it. Maybe he got the short end of the stick. Coaching changes. Never had a really good defense, which is kind of ironic because the defense since week 11 has only been giving up 18 points per game. And the best defense in the NFL, San Francisco, has only been giving up 15 points. So shut the fuck up about enough help. And when your offensive line is in a year that offensive lines are actually struggling, the pass protect, and you have the 12th best of fucking hell, like literally shut the fuck up. When he leaves, please with him. I'm going to put it to you like this. I'm the Shield first. Everything else is secondary to me. I'm a Raider fan first. Players and everybody else is secondary to me. So there it is. That is my reaction. But let's get to it.
Listen, Raiders fans, you're not losing anything, really. I mean, you're not really losing anything. I mean,
we're going to save $30 million in cap space. That's the best thing he's ever done for us.
Maybe Devontae Adams is like, I came in to play as my quarterback. That might be it. Other than that, you're not really losing anything.
Waller's coming back.
You might trade him.
I mean, listen, I do not care. It's the Shield first. Everything else is secondary to me. But like I said, there's some fans out there that are taking this like we benched the second coming of Joe Montana. No, the fuck we didn't. Joe Montana, maybe. But nah. Like, God, people get over it. But here we go.
You benched David Carr, not Derek. You benched David Carr.
Yeah, I mean, God. Anyway, we got Thursday night action tomorrow. It is the last Amazon Prime video of the season. It is the last one. Thank God. I think they need to tune up. If anybody needs to have an off season, it's Thursday Night Football. They need an off season. Because goddamn, there were some moments there where I was just like, yeah, this is good, bro. Yeah. Like, this ain't good, bro. But we got Dallas taking on the Titans tomorrow. Derrick Henry's not going to play. That's already been said. Dallas, even though they won, they really look like the Super Bowl favorites that everybody's expecting them to be.
Don't you say that on this live. No, Michael Irvin can hear you. Don't do that.
Oh, stop it. Michael Irvin knows it. It's just come on. If we were to shut these cameras off and I was to look at Michael Irvin directly, Michael, you really think the Cowboys are going to win this thing? He'd be like, no, man. Can't compete.
I don't know. All the tags he be giving on first take.
Oh, my God. Anyway, so, Brandon, who you got tomorrow? Do you got the Cowboys or you got the Tennessee Titans?
I'm not even going to lie. I put Tennessee first. I put Tennessee down. Then I saw all the injuries, and I was like, yeah, they're going to lose. I was like, God damn.
Yeah, they're banged. up, dude. They are banged up, bro.
It's not just Derrick Henry. That's one thing. Which, by the way, Derrick Henry's been fumbling the fuck out the football the last couple of weeks. He's had 100 yards, but he's on like a fumble problem.
Yeah, he's having issues control. He's having ball security issues, which is rare, like a motherfucker.
Like the last couple of weeks, he's just fumbling the football. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What's going on? Yeah, it's not the Tennessee offense that I'm worried about more. So it's the defense. You got no Bud Dupree. You got pretty much no secondary.
No Jeffrey Simmons, Bud Dupree.
To stop the run. It's like, dude, this is, oh my God. I was about to say I had more confidence in Tennessee winning this game than going to Jacksonville and beating Jacksonville. I don't have no confidence in them winning this game. I think they're gonna lose, and I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be embarrassing because I just don't think Dallas has that much in them no more. Like they did exactly what they wanted to do, prove that they could win in games like that against Philly. That's kind of why I picked Tennessee, but then I saw the injuries.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. If Jalen Hurts played on Sunday, Philly wins.
Oh, Philly wins easy.
So it's not like Dallas. Again.
Can we explain to people football? Because if Jalen Hurts plays Saturday, Christmas Eve, Dallas loses massively. This is not
like
Gordon Minshew gave them 4 turnovers, and you still had to wait to the end of the game to pull away. There's no way in their own territory. In their fault. This is the beautiful thing about First Take. Michael Irvin, they asked Michael Irvin that shit. Like, Michael Irvin, if you believe Dallas could beat Philly, they did with the ball 4 times in Dallas territory. And he was like, that got nothing to do with nothing. Oh my God, damn.
Put it like this. If Jalen Hurts played on Saturday, Philadelphia is. Here's the thing what Michael Parsons didn't realize. Okay, I liked how he tried to backtrack his statements about the whole Jalen Hurts and everything. Here's my take on it. We're going to pretend that Dallas did not just lose to Jacksonville, right? We're going to pretend that didn't happen, right? No, it happened, folks. And here's my take on it. I got Dallas winning tomorrow. And that's literally only because Tennessee is so banged up. They don't even, Tennessee, Mike Vrabel doesn't even know who he's going to play tomorrow. So there it is. I got Dallas winning only because, yeah, you're supposed to beat. I hope this team doesn't get, if Tennessee gives Dallas fits tomorrow, there's no way in hell I think they can beat a team like Carolina, like Minnesota, like Tampa Bay, like San Francisco, Green Bay. I don't think they can even beat them right now. So Detroit, even though Detroit needs some help, I think they can still get in. That's how messed up it is. So I got Dallas tomorrow, and I'm just not even the most confident Dallas in the world. So yeah, there it is. Next up, we got Arizona taking on Atlanta. Arizona stinks. Atlanta stinks. But somebody has to lose this game. It's not so much that somebody has to win. Somebody has to lose this game. So, Brandon, I ask you, who do you got? Do you got Arizona or do you got Atlanta?
I got the team that's not firing their head coach probably after this game. I got Atlanta.
God.
He knows it too. They're going to fire him right after the game. Oh, my God. I got Atlanta.
Like, the only thing that Nathaniel can say, at least they didn't fire him on Christmas Day. They waited after Christmas to fire his ass.
They're going to fire Cliff Kingsbury New Year's Day. New Year's Day. After the game, you get back to Arizona. Yeah, hey, listen, man, clean out your office. This shit is just ridiculous.
It's over. Like, do you want to do this now or do you want to do this later? And then also, J.J. Watt announced that he's retiring, so I expect him to go off. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to go with Atlanta, too. Only just due to the fact of circumstances is this. Arthur Smith might not be a good head coach, but he tried to keep Atlanta in it. Cliff Kingsbury can't coach. So there it is. There's the difference. There's the difference.
I don't think Cliff Kingsbury can't coach. I just don't think he can coach the NFL.
There you go. That's probably better. That's probably better. Yeah. So we're both taking Atlanta. Okay. So we're not even gonna. Chicago, Detroit. That's the next game. Chicago's doing everything in their power to stay at number 2 to make sure that Will Anderson is a Chicago Bear. All right, and Detroit's doing everything in their power to win, so that way they can have a chance at the playoffs. So Brandon, I ask you, do you got Chicago or do you got Detroit?
I'm really worried about Detroit's defense when the run is the problem. But
yeah, that was embarrassing. Chuba Hubbard should have not had that type of game, but Detroit's run defense is terrible.
Not just Chuba Hubbard, Foreman. Like, goddamn, like what?
I haven't heard that dude in like 4 years, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my god.
What is going on? Oh my god. I mean, it's got to be cold. I cannot see why they're not tackling these dudes. This is got to be really hard when you hit them. Like, it's just like,
yeah, it's rough. It's just a rough deal.
Yeah, I got Detroit. I mean, they're at home. They need to win this game because Week 18 will be very fucking interesting. If they didn't win this, if they win, they go to Green Bay and somehow pull it out.
Because remember, Green Bay needs to win these final 2 too. So it's like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. And I could see where it could be a flex to where Green Bay and Detroit get flexed into Sunday Night Football.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because that would be one of those you need a win to get in type of deal.
Yeah, depending on how it ends, particularly with Washington.
Yeah.
And the Giants, it'd be very, very interesting.
Exactly. So I got Detroit too, only because I don't think Chicago wants to do anything in their power. Here's the deal. I'm not saying that they're trying to lose. What I'm saying is they don't want to miss out on Will Anderson. That's my thing.
In other words, in other words, you're thinking they're gonna lose because they need to lose.
Yes. There you go. I'm glad you know where I'm going with. So next up, okay, we're just gonna pass by this one. We got Denver going to Kansas City. I don't even know if Denver has named anybody an interim head coach yet, and Kansas City's trying to get the number. And Kansas City's trying to get the number 1 seed. I guess. All right. I'm assuming you got Kansas City.
I want to say some of the people that also is out here saying Kansas City is still good. Do you not see the defense?
That was bad. That was bad.
2 weeks, 3 weeks now. This was the best game Denver looked this entire year, offensively, against this Kansas City defense.
And it wasn't even
this entire year. They just fired their head coach. The best game they had this entire year offensively was against Kansas City.
Kansas City is a Super Bowl hopeful, but shit's got to get turned around quick.
Listen, I'm telling y'all right now, if Kansas City slip up at any moment these next 2 weeks, shit. Because Monday night, if Cincinnati beats Buffalo, oh shit.
Here's the thing. Kansas City needs home field advantage.
They need it.
Like, I trust Buffalo. Like, here's the thing. I trust Buffalo on the road. I trust Cincinnati on the road.
I don't trust Buffalo on the road.
I trust Buffalo on the road. I do. I trust Buffalo on the road. I trust Cincinnati on the road. Who else we got? You know, here's how messed up it is. I even trust the Chargers and the Ravens on the road more than I trust Kansas City on the road. That's how messed up it is.
I don't know about the Chargers. Ravens? Yeah.
That's how messed up it is. That's how messed up it is. And if out of these 3 teams, Buffalo, Cincinnati, or Kansas City, they need home field advantage, Kansas City is the one that needs it the most. So, because do you trust Cincinnati on the road? Hell yeah, I do. Hell yeah. I think Cincinnati could beat anybody at any field. Doesn't matter to me. Don't matter to me. So, again, it's one of those things where Kansas City needs to win these next 2, and that might not even be enough because if Cincinnati wins, if Cincinnati pulls this off. Here's the thing about Monday night for Kansas City. They would prefer Cincinnati wins so they can keep close to Buffalo because if Buffalo pulls this out, all roads point to Buffalo for home field advantage. And weather is going crazy right now. So, but I got Kansas City this week. You got Kansas City this week because we don't even know what Denver is anymore. So let's keep it going. Oh God, Miami taking on New England. So Teddy Bridgewater is going to take the snaps here because Tua's back on concussion protocol. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. we joke and we like to make fun of things, and I am on that boat where if I'm a close friend of Tua, you would have to start talking to him about life after football. There's nothing more to say because he's getting to a point now where he can't even take a standard tackle anymore without getting thrown into the concussion protocol. This is, as far as we know, this is his third one. But how many has he had? And let's be real. Let's be real about this. I'm getting to a point now where, because to Miami, you really have to start thinking about. Tua just has to start thinking about himself because these team doctors are not going to do it for him. These are the same team doctors that put him out a week on a 4-day rest and got his ass handed to. And we all thought he was dead. New England, they got their own problems too. I get that. But I think this is comes more down to, if you're Tua, you might love football, but how many more hits can you really take? That's my thing. So, Miami's got to go to New England. I'm going to go New England in this one, only because Teddy's a good quarterback, but he's not the quarterback. And that Patriots defense is still the Patriots defense no matter what. It's just they ran into a fireball that was Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals on Saturday. Because here's the thing, Joe Burrow's been on a fucking tear. I don't know if you noticed. Since December started, Joe Burrow has been on a tear. And they just ran into that hurricane that was Joe Burrow. And Cincinnati's actually healthy. So that's scary to think. But yeah, I'm going to go New England on this one. And you just have to start thinking, is it even worth it for Tua to even come back next year? So there's my take on it. It's not so much that New England's better. It's just with Tua, you just, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I'm with you on it. It's 3 concussions in one NFL season. It's not like he had it in a period of time. It's 3 in.
It's not like he had it a period of like 9, 12 years. It's one fucking year.
It's one massive fucking year, and it's like you having You had 3 concussions in 1 year. You had 2 concussions in just 4 days of each other. Like it's like how many more can you really? How many more can you have? Like it's getting to the point where you do have to question his safety in a little bit of it. But you got to question his safety, and it is because if he had a concussion, clearly you didn't call it. Clearly y'all guys didn't call it up there to say, oh, it's something off with him. Y'all just kept letting him play. It's just like that's not.
And I get it. It's a tough gig. It's a tough gig of who has a concussion, who doesn't. And it's kind of ironic that Nelson Aguilar, prior to the Raiders game, a week prior, he called out the NFL because he saw his teammate Kendrick Bourne, and he called it. And he called it, and nobody else did. So it's just we can't determine what a concussion is when it happens because there's so many forms of it that you don't know.
Yeah.
But in this case for Tua, you have to start really thinking about it like, well, this thing stickles and he's getting concussed now. When's enough is my thing.
The way he got tackled, the way he got spun.
Monday Night Football, perfect example. Derwin James knocked himself out.
He knocked himself out.
We clearly see that as a concussion. But when do we start taking into account what is now? What is it? But it's just one of those things.
I guess if you see somebody bounce up twice or something, I don't know how you call it. That is a difficult discussion to have. What is a concussion? It's going to be we've had this discussion, but now it's kind of getting to the point where you're going to have it again because these doctors are not.
The team doctors are not doing their thing, and the people upstairs are only calling it. It's just one of those things.
But getting back to it, I got New England too. I mean, like you just said, they have their starting quarterback is not there, and this New England defense is still this New England defense. You
exactly.
They ran into a hurricane named Joe Burrow, but they also came back
They tried. They tried. It's just the ineptitude of Matt Patricia killed them.
Let's move on.
There it is. Next up, oh God, this one. Indianapolis taking the Giants. Indianapolis, who's going to probably be on the search for another head coach here pretty soon. I hear Frank Wright's available. Anyway, they're going to have to travel to the Meadowlands to take on the Giants, who, and that's the thing. Can the Steelers win one more game? Oh, man. We'll get to them here in a bit. They got the Sunday night matchup against Baltimore, and those games are always look. I got the Giants taking over. I got the Giants beating Indianapolis. And it's not so much because the Giants are just good. I think it's just Indianapolis is just so bad. They're just so bad. They don't have a future quarterback. They don't. They don't. Matt Ryan's not it. Nick Foles ain't it. Sam Ehlinger's not it. Jonathan Taylor got hurt. There's your whole offense. And the defense is just getting hurt week after week after week that eventually it just doesn't make sense anymore for Indianapolis. Now, on the bright side, Indianapolis does have a top 5 pick. And you know what? I would say that the Colts offense is just bad. It's just so bad. It's just so bad. The thing with Indianapolis, they do have a top pick where they can actually jump ahead of Seattle due to strength of schedule. And there's a chance that either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud could be an Indianapolis Colt. Or, if you guys are feeling frisky, there's a quarterback in Vegas that is probably looking for a job next year. Just saying. I'm not asking you for a first rounder.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't you do it. Don't.
I'm just trying to put his services out there. That's it.
Don't do it. Don't you do it.
So, but I got the Giants in this one only because the Colts are just that bad. So, Brandon, who do you got, my man?
Get to the point these quarterbacks get to practice and they're like, "You're the quarterback this week." What?
I don't think it.
Me? I'm the quarterback this week. What the fuck?
Do you think prior 2 weeks ago, do you think Nick Foles was like ready to hear that? Like, by the way, you're the starter, huh? Like, Nick Foles was probably thinking, what are you talking about?
Nick Foles been inactive like the whole year. They're like, "You're the starter." What the fuck? Like, I wasn't even in practice. I was at home. What the fuck is going on? I just, oh my God. Yo, like I said, I've never seen an owner say, "I'm going to pick my interim head coach," and he was just sitting on TV 2 days ago. Like, I've never seen an owner just be like, I got my interim head coach already picked out. The guy on ESPN.
I just don't. I don't. Jim Irsay has to figure something out.
We didn't discuss this because you were sick. But when I saw them lose a 33-point lead to the Minnesota Vikings on Saturday, I don't know what else can we say. Like, that is just, this offense has no direction.
Team Smith's the best. This is the perfect time to fire your interim head coach.
I've never seen a team disconnect from a head coach and an interim head coach. They're like, dude, I don't want none of these motherfuckers. I don't need nobody. They need to drive a quarterback, and they got to get better weapons.
Bottom line. They just got to get better.
He's not a number one. Jonathan Taylor, you're going to go get another running back. I'm sorry. Jonathan Taylor is great if he's healthy. This year, he hasn't been healthy.
No.
I don't know how much more he can have on that. You got to go get a whole new running back. You got to get better receivers. And tight end, okay, I guess. But you got to draft a quarterback. You can't keep doing these. Let me go draft. Let me go trade for a veteran shit. That is stupid. That's what's derailing this franchise. You're putting in a difference where you're going to just get whatever quarterback is out there because he's a veteran. Instead of molding a fucking quarterback. The best thing about the Colts the last couple of years, Peyton Manning was drafted. Andrew Luck was drafted. And after that, you just try to like.
By the way, if you guys haven't read that article on ESPN Plus about why Andrew Luck retired, I recommend you read it because it is such an eye opener, and it made me realize, damn, this game did take Andrew Luck away from us quicker than we thought.
Also, I wanted to say this: if the Giants lose to the Saturdays, I have no hope in the Giants. Like, you cannot lose to the Colts. I'm sorry. This is like a reprimandum of this. I think they should be banned from the playoffs. If they I really do. There's no way in hell you lose to the Colts.
I get it. I get it. I get it. So it looks like we both have the Giants.
I got the Giants, but I'm like, God damn, I'm really like, ooh, they lose to the Colts at home.
Oh,
You should be banned from the playoffs. I don't give a shit about the record. You should be banned from the fucking playoffs. There's no way in hell you should be playing it. I think they would be looking at David Jones and be like, yeah, this shit ain't gonna work. Like, this is the game. They're like, yeah, this ain't gonna work.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, moving on. We got two teams here. And you know what's actually funny? Because just considering the fact of the draft implications of this game, we got the New Orleans Saints traveling to Philadelphia. As you guys may know, Philadelphia owns the first round rights to the Saints because of trades. Just because of trades. It's just funny how things work. So as of right now, as it were to stand, the Philadelphia Eagles will be picking number 10. Not because they're terrible. No. It's because New Orleans just are giving them the top 10 pick because they figure Philadelphia needs more help heading into next year. Thanks, Brandon. Anyway, New Orleans takes on Philadelphia. Brandon, who do you got? The Saints or the Eagles? By the way, if Philadelphia wins this one, they clinch home field advantage the rest of the game, the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Start clinching?
Oh, good God. I got the Saints.
Oh,
I got the Saints.
oh, you're pushing them out of the top 10. How dare you?
I do not trust this pick at all. I just want to point that out. I am a Saints fan. I do not trust this pick at all. It's just, I don't trust it at all. Yeah. Jalen Hurts may or may not play. If I was Philly, I'd just sit him the rest of the year. It doesn't make any sense. You're in the playoffs. Not like you're not in the playoffs. Now, do you want the number one seed? That's a way different conversation that you can have.
Mm-hmm.
But I read that if you're going to play Jalen Hurts, I'll play him next week against Giants in Philly. When I also know the Giants, if they win against the Colts, they're pretty much in.
Yep.
So they're probably going to sit everybody.
Yep.
So I would play Jalen Hurts next week, personally, because no matter what, you're going to still have the number one seed. You got the end track of the number one seed. You're pretty much going to be it. But playing them this week against us, that we still have a chance, we could still get in the playoffs, you're putting Jalen Hurts in a position. Also, with no Landon Johnson, you don't know how that offensive line is going to look.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was also going to mention, too.
And then on top of that, you have no slot corner because we don't know what Maddox is going to look like without Maddox. Gardner Johnson's been out for the last couple of weeks. It's a lot of things that fit. Darius Slayton, by the way, I don't know what the fuck happened to him. What is going on? Like, you just let T.Y. Hilton, who was like in street clothes 3 weeks ago, not knowing what the fuck.
He's been in street clothes for like about a year and some change.
Yo, T.Y. Hilton's had like 2 games that I've physically seen him in like the last 5 years. He had a good game against Houston. He always burns Houston. And then he catches a 3rd and 30 on Darius Slayton. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This man was literally in some street clothes a year ago. What the fuck? How the hell is that possible? Like, it's just, yeah.
I want people to understand that T.Y. Hilton was in street clothes for a year, and he came back to play against Houston, and he's like, it's like I'm in Indianapolis all over again. So there it is. Okay.
I got the Saints, but it's more because of Philly more than us. Like, I think, like, last week, us beating Cleveland was big. We needed to do it, particularly being in the cold on the road. It's not a good sign for us at all. But next week, it lines up so much more if everything falls the way it falls for us. But, yeah, I got us to win.
Well,
Yeah,
that's beautiful, man. That's very beautiful.
Go ahead,
Listen,
say Philly. Also, Gardner Minshew. I don't trust Gardner Minshew.
I don't trust Gardner Minshew either, but I don't really trust Andy Dalton either. And I do not think the defense can have back-to-back performances like that for New Orleans. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Philadelphia just due to circumstances alone because I don't give a shit if Lane Johnson's not playing. I don't give a shit if Jalen Hurts is not playing either. The problem is, do you really trust Andy Dalton in that freaking cold in Philadelphia? The fans are going to be there ready to clinch the NFC East for the first time since they won the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm going to say no. I don't think he's ready for that. And I think Dennis Allen's just counting down the days to where he could see what he could do in the offseason. So give me Philadelphia. Like I said, if they were playing in New Orleans, I might have gone New Orleans because it's a dome.
I want to ask NFL schedule makers, why the fuck for the last 3 years we've been in Philly?
Because you guys love it. I don't know.
No, the fuck we don't.
We don't. Like, shut up.
The last 3 times we played Philly, they had Jalen Hurts starting. So the last 2 times they played in Philly, Jalen Hurts has been a starter. So you don't know what you was going to get from him offensively. And I think that's why I'm picking him too. Because I don't, as good as Gardner Minshew is, he ain't Jalen Hurts.
No, he ain't Jalen Hurts. No. Let's not get this twisted. Okay? Let's not go Micah Parsons on these guys, okay? So next up, this is a very interesting one. Carolina taking on Tampa Bay. So Carolina's kind of been on a tear. And if they actually win out these next 2, they actually win the NFC South. Tampa Bay beat Arizona last week due to circumstances. So, Brendan, I got to ask you, man, who do you got? Do you got Carolina or do you got Tampa Bay? Oh, my God.
Oh, good God. I got Carolina. Listen, Tampa wins, they win the NFC South. This is as easy as a layup it should be as I've ever seen. But they ain't gonna win. I'm like, listen, I like Carolina enough to know that I saw them run the ball on Tampa Bay when they didn't have a good offensive line. And they didn't have anybody really throwing the football. And they didn't have DJ Moore doing 100 yards every game. Like, I saw them run the ball on Tampa in Carolina earlier this year. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. That defense is actually healthier than it was the game they played Tampa. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tampa's not going to win this game. I'm pretty damn sure of it. I'm like, listen, Tampa Bay literally has to go no huddle the entire game. That's the only way that offense works. I've never seen an offense for damn near, 48 minutes of gameplay. And then for 2 minutes, they figured it out. In 2 minutes, you tell me, for the entire game, you didn't know shit. You didn't know how to throw the ball, catch the ball, run the ball, nothing.
Nope.
And for 2 minutes, everything's clear. Get the fuck out of here. Come on. I don't know if this Byron Leftwich is saying, like, we still got to use the game plan. Tom Brady's like, man, fuck your game plan. Like, I don't know.
I am getting to a point that's, yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's like they had to just do 2 minute offense the entire fucking game, or they're going to lose. Like, I've never seen a quarterback be like, yeah, you heard the game plan? Yeah, fuck that game plan. We're not doing that at all. like, we're not doing that shit at all. Like, I've never seen it. I've never seen a team for, like, the last couple of weeks, for, like, the entire game offensively, look like they have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah,
and then
bad.
For 2 minutes,
it clicks. Yeah. I agree with you, and I'm actually going to go with Carolina as well. As much as I want, I know Tom Brady's the fucking man. But let's be real, man. These Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're really
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
But Carolina has shown me something. Carolina has shown me something ever since Steve Wilkes, which, by the way, he probably should be the head coach of Carolina heading into next year because he played himself there. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Carolina. And here's the thing: they might not have the best team, but the way they've been playing, they might host a playoff game.
Wasn't Steve Wilkes the head coach when they drafted Josh Rosen in Arizona?
Yeah.
Maybe Arizona should have kept him. Just saying.
It's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. But yeah, I'm gonna go Carolina too. Only just circumstantial. It's just because it's not because I don't believe that Sam Darnold or not quarterback play. It's just Carolina's so much healthier than Tampa Bay right now, and everybody's like, "Oh, Ryan Jensen might be coming back." That is one center. That is one center. And last I checked, Donovan Smith still sucks as a left tackle for Tampa Bay. So, yeah, give me Carolina.
Yes, that's one center. But then they also say Donovan Smith's hurt and Tristan Wirfs is hurt and Brian Burns is not.
Yeah, that's the thing. Brian Burns is not hurt.
It's like, dude, do we need to have this conversation every fucking time we talk about Tampa Bay? I know you love Tampa, but fuck.
And now this game's going to be great. This game's going to be great. We got the Cleveland Browns taking on the Washington Commanders. Now Cleveland's mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. They are mathematically eliminated. Understandably so. It happens. Washington has decided to go back to Carson Wentz. And here's the crazy thing about it. On Monday, prior to the announcement, Washington was actually favored by 3.5. The second they announced it, that Carson Wentz was back as a starting quarterback, Cleveland was now favored by 3.5. I've never seen a team pick quarterbacks. And then now you're the underdog. How fucked up is that? How I've never seen a 7-point switch in my life because you switch quarterbacks. That should tell you everything you need to know. But Brendan, I gotta ask you, who wins, Cleveland or Washington? Like when Taylor Heineke was a starter on Monday, they were favored by 3.5. A close game, but they were still favored. The second Ron Rivera went to
point out that this game is in Washington, and they was like, nope.
They're like the Vegas oddsmakers said, "Oh, Carson Wentz is back." Nah, nope.
I got Washington. I got them. I'm not confident in this shit. I'm being honest with you. I'm not confident by no stretch of the imagination. Ron Rivera needs to lose his job if they don't make the playoffs.
Yes, agreed.
He needs to lose his job. It's not because you're not a good head coach. It's that you see the team like Tyler Heineke. You see the team actually rally behind Tyler Heineke. And you, as soon as the first sign of trouble hits, Carson Wentz is the quarterback now. Well, fucking what? We saw what he was capable of earlier in the year. The same shit you say Tyler Heineke is capable of. At least Tyler Heineke can actually get you in these games and play. Who the fuck else is going to play good against San Francisco defense?
Nobody. And mind you, he was actually down his 2 starting running backs.
I haven't seen a starting quarterback go against San Francisco in San Francisco, mind you, and do good. I haven't seen it.
No.
Embarrass Tom Brady. Like, motherfucker, that's kind of what happens. But for you to just be like, oh, now Carson Wentz is the starting quarterback, I probably would be the same as Vegas. I would be like, yep, Cleveland's going to win. Like I would have been the same. Because it just makes no sense. I trust Washington more than I trust Carson Wentz. And that's the difference.
I got Cleveland in this one.
I don't blame you.
Like, okay, I get it. Like, if Taylor Heineke was playing, I would be like, okay, I got Washington by very little. But now that I know that Carson Wentz is playing, it's like, oh, Cleveland's going to look good. Cleveland's going to look good. Because Cleveland's got nothing to play for. Because Cleveland's got nothing to play for. And Washington's got everything to lose. And it's like, oh, this is perfect. Watch Carson Wentz fuck this up. Cleveland, go get him. Cleveland, go get him.
Robert Bad be like, yeah, Tyler Haneke is the quarterback in the second half of this game. Carson Wentz is not built for pressure. This shit is not good. Listen, he's gonna get fired. People can say whatever they want to say.
If Washington misses the playoffs, then yes, Ron Rivera deserves to get fired.
Because I don't know what it is. I don't know if you just don't like Tyler Haneke. Because clearly he fits your team, and you're just like, nope, Carson Wentz. What the fuck? Like, dude, do you see what Carson Wentz has been the last couple of years? Especially if Jacksonville last year didn't prove anything to you about Carson Wentz, you need to lose your job. That is ridiculous.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That's the best analogy to put it. That's the best way to put it. So here we go. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna move pretty quickly with these next two games. Jacksonville at Houston. Jacksonville's in a position where they can win the AFC South. Not because they're talented, it's because everybody else is hurt. And because Houston is, again, prepping for either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud to be the next quarterback of the Houston Texans. I bet you I know what the first question is going to be at the combine. Do you like massages? Tell me now, motherfucker. Tell me now. So, Brandon, I'm assuming you got Jacksonville beating the Houston Texans?
I got Jacksonville winning the AFC South, so yeah, I got
Okay, cool. Next up, we got the San Francisco 49ers coming to Vegas. Vegas has announced that Derek Carr is now going to be benched. Usually when that happens, usually means that they've given up on the season. And the San Francisco 49ers have the best defense in the NFL. They are healthy, and it doesn't even matter who's at quarterback right now. Even though Brock Purdy is probably better than Jimmy G right now, choice-wise, is probably a better choice than Jimmy G and Trey Lance, health-wise and play-wise. So, Brandon, tell me, please, how you do have San Francisco, right?
You take the words out of my mouth when you say Brock Purdy's better than Jimmy Garoppolo right now.
Okay, good. Okay, perfect. So we can move on. We both got that good. Now, next up, we got the New York Jets taking on the Seattle Seahawks. The Jets are going to go back to Mike White. The Seattle Seahawks are... How can I put this for Seattle? They were the division leaders. They're not out of it yet. Kind of feels that way, though. Kind of feels that way. Kind of feels that way now. And the Jets still have a chance to make the playoffs. So, Brandon, I ask you, do you have the Jets or do you have the Seahawks? But shit, it feels like it, man. Like, the way they've been playing the last 3 weeks, it's like, shit, man, what the fuck is this? Like, put it this way. Ever since Seattle lost to the Raiders, their psyche just kind of died, man. Like, goddamn, like, this is the longest prolonged death in the history of cinema, man.
Ever since they lost their running back, they have lost.
Yeah, they've lost it, man. They have lost it.
They don't know what the fuck to do. Oh my god. I got the Jets. Mike White is clearly better than Zach Wilson. We now know that. It's kind of obvious. Zach Wilson literally just gifted the man a job. It's just, you can have it. I mean, you can have it.
Like, homie, you can have this fucking...
You can have this shit. I don't want it. Get away from me. Like, he just, like, I'd rather not be the Jets quarterback.
Now, and that's what I was actually going to ask you. As of right now, do you even see Zach Wilson coming back in a Jets uniform next year? I say no.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
I say no.
If they can't get anything for him, yeah.
I say no. I think he's just gonna. I think there's gonna be a team out there that's gonna miss out on either C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, or Bryce Young. They're gonna miss out on him, and they're not sure about Hendon Hooker. They're not sure about Anthony Richardson. They're not sure about Duggan from TCU. They're not sure about a bunch of these other quarterbacks. They're gonna be like,
I want to just point out. We've been talking about this all day. I can actually see the Raiders and the Jets trading.
and just be like, you don't like your guy, we don't like our guy.
We don't fuck with ours. You don't fuck with yours. Like straight.
Just a straight up switch.
We need a veteran. If you're the Jets, we need a veteran. That's Derek Carr. And if you're the Raiders, we need somebody that could grow with the offense. And that's Zach Wilson.
Yeah. So we'll see.
They need to mature. So yeah, shit. Yeah, I got the Jets winning this game, but Zach Wilson, I can see him being in New York next year just because
I say no. I can't because with everything that happened, you don't bench a man twice in a span of a month.
I'm not saying he's the starter next year. Oh hell no. What I mean is I don't see no team really going and being like, yeah, I want fucking Zach Wilson. I don't see it. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I want Zach.
Open arms for Zach Wilson. Like with open arms, being like, yeah, Zach Wilson, come here and fuck up our franchise. Like,
fuck up our life. Fuck your life.
I don't see it. We need those problems. We want those problems.
Yeah, I get it. It's a tough deal, but it's just I cannot fathom the idea that Robert Saleh benched him twice in a span of a month, and it's like, yeah, we'll take you back. Only because you're cheap.
It might be like the Baker Mayfield effect, where it's like we're just gonna have to wait and see what we can get, and if we can't get shit, then he's the starting quarterback. Like it's just like it might be that. It might be that.
Now, speaking of problems, Minnesota is gonna have to travel to Green Bay. Now, Minnesota, they won the North. They've already won the North. That's enough. They don't have to do anything at this point. And Green Bay is in the same boat as Detroit that they both need to win their final two games to even think about making the playoffs. So, Brandon, I ask you, do you have Minnesota or do you have Green Bay?
Listen, I know Aaron Rodgers missed the last couple of practices for Green Bay. I still got Green Bay. I still got Green Bay. Oh, shit.
I'm going to look at week one as a fluke that Minnesota... Well, not a fluke. I'm going to look at it as we probably should have took this as an omen that maybe the Green Bay defense is just not that good. But this time they have to go to Green Bay, and maybe, just maybe, the Green Bay Packers can make this a game and they win and Detroit can win. And then maybe we can get Detroit Green Bay for like Sunday Night Football. And then it's like, oh my God, like, and then Green Bay loses on Sunday Night Football and Detroit goes in. And then it's like, oh my God, NFL pandemonium, chaos, everything. And we'll see.
Don't you get me excited with this goddamn Detroit Lions. Don't you do that again.
I know. Look, I'm going to go Green Bay too. Only because I don't think Minnesota already did what they had to do, and they're happy to be here. All right, there it is. There's my analysis.
I want people to understand something. Minnesota, the last 2 weeks, was down 33-0, and literally almost lost to Daniel Jones.
I don't know what kind of boat of confidence you are at Minnesota. With Minnesota, we could come back from anybody. Yeah, but that means you can't stop anybody.
I'm getting tired of people being like, well, they won a lot of one-point games. They are supposed to be the best team in the NFC, and you're sitting here telling me, well, they can win a lot of one-point games. I don't give a shit if you can win one-point games. When you go against good teams, you ain't coming back. You play San Francisco's defense, you ain't coming back. You play Philly's defense,
you ain't coming back. I would even sit here and say, if you play Dallas defense and they get pass
rush on you, you ain't coming back. Like it's like I don't see Minnesota.
It's just no. It's just. And here's the thing: Minnesota's going to host the home game in the playoffs, and God forbid they get Detroit, Green Bay, Dallas, or the Giants again, because then they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, we got this."
I just need people to understand something. You know how fucked up this is? If they lose to Green Bay, and in 2 weeks, you got to host Green Bay. like you got to host Green Bay. Because let's not act like if they lose this week, that if San Francisco win, they don't jump them. So they're the third seed now.
Yeah.
Green Bay could be the sixth. Fuck.
Exactly.
You should have beat them. And then
I get it. I get it. I get it. It's just I got Green Bay in this one only to make things interesting. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. This game was actually supposed to be on Sunday night. They flexed it. God.
I wonder why.
Because one LA team is doing better than the other, I'm assuming. And now we'll actually get to see, more than like 20 fans of the home team. Now we get to triple that and we get to see 60 fans. Like, it's going to be great. It's going to be great to see LA represent. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. And nobody has to travel far, so that's always good too. Nobody has to go anywhere.
It'd be really great if, like, the Lakers also didn't have to play that part of that day in LA. Because
at 1:30 in the afternoon. Can you imagine? At like 1:30 in the afternoon, the Lakers play on Sunday, and they're like, "Where is everybody?" They're at the Laker game, but they suck. Yeah. Compared to what, guys? Compared to what? We're going, motherfucker. Look, the Rams, they did amazing on Christmas Day. They beat the Denver Broncos. Good job.
Hold on, time. Did the Rams do great, or did Russell Wilson just give out presents because it was Christmas?
Now, I'm going to bring up a topic, though. I am going to bring up something that I don't think nobody's ready to have the discussion about. Should Sean McVay look into keeping Baker Mayfield long term? Listen, ever since Baker Mayfield has joined the Los Angeles Rams, the Rams offense has actually been moving pretty damn good. And Tommy John surgery, with Matthew Stafford, you don't know what you're getting when he comes back. So I'm just saying, if I'm Sean McVay, do I talk to Baker and say, hey, you want to stay? Like, do you love LA? Do you want to stay? So, and the Chargers, listen, they made it. They're going to the playoffs. I don't know what type of damage they're going to do, but they're in the playoffs.
Depends who they play. It depends on who they play. I mean, they play Cincinnati or Buffalo, they going to get their ass whooped. They play the Kansas City Chiefs. I got the Chargers. If
they play Jacksonville, I think I might have to swing with Jacksonville on this one.
I might have to swing with Jacksonville. I'm not even going to lie.
I'm not even going to front with you. I'm not even going to lie to you about this.
I feel like we're doing the same shit we did to Tennessee last year, where it's like, no matter who wins, they're going to beat Tennessee.
Like, listen, whoever won between the Raiders and Cincinnati, we were ready to pencil them beating the Tennessee Titans the following week. Like, we were penciling them in.
Like, they're going to Kansas City and Buffalo. They're going to be
okay, look, it's Tennessee. And that's kind of how I feel with the Chargers right now. I'm kind of like, yeah, you're in, but God forbid you're like the 7th seed and you got to go to Buffalo, you got to go to Cincinnati, you got to go to Kansas City. Listen, we're very happy that you guys finally made it. And I'm very happy that Justin Herbert finally made the playoffs. It's just, it's just no.
I think.
And here's the thing. How confident are we that Brandon Staley's actually going to keep his fucking job if Sean Payton is out there?
Well, he made the playoffs. Why? So he's pretty much not going to lose his job, at least not this year. At least not this year, he's not going to lose his job.
It's just you got to think if you're the Spanos family, you got to be like,
fuck.
you know, Brandon, we like you and all, but like,
Hey,
you know, like you understand, don't you? It's just a job, right? That would be so Chargers though. Fire the head coach that just got you to the playoffs for the first time in like 5 years. Like, of course.
God. I got the Chargers, but I'm with you on the Rams situation with Baker Mayfield. I think, like I said,
Like, no, this has to be a real topic. Like, this has to be really talked about. Baker Mayfield looks really good.
I've said this. I said this to you last time we did it. I think Matthew Stafford's going to retire. I don't give a shit what he said on his wife's podcast. You're going to retire. Like, there's no way in hell elbow injury like you have in a concussion situation like you have right now.
And it's not even just a normal elbow. It is a baseball elbow. And pitchers get put on the shelves a really long time with this type of injury.
I don't see him. I can't see him coming. And that's a year injury. Like, Tommy John surgery takes a year. So by the time you come back, it's already a year done. It's like, bro, you coming back in what, 2024?
That's not ideal. It's not ideal. Let's put it this way.
I mean, like, you're going to be like 37, 38. Like, that's taking my time. Like,
it's not ideal in his situation. And the thing that makes it worse is because Baker is actually playing really well without the stars, where it's like, shit. Like, Sean McVay has to have this conversation with Baker, like, hey, if I can move on from Stafford.
I'm not about to sit and act like he hasn't had it, because I said this last time. It's like, the Rams have no other alternative. They have no cap space.
There is no cap space. There is no future draft picks. You have to rely on this. You got to rely that Baker does stay. So, now, do I expect them to win this week? Probably not. Now that Bosa and Mac are back, probably not. But if Baker Mayfield can play really well against the Chargers, then it's a discussion for Sean McVay to have with the general man, with Snead, the owner of the Rams, Kroenke, Matthew Stafford, and Baker. Like, they all have to come into agreement. Like, hey, we don't know if even if you do come back, are you even going to be the same guy that you were 2 years ago? Probably not. So it is what it is. Next up, we got Sunday Night Football. It is the second to the last one. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Baltimore. Pittsburgh winning on Christmas Eve on the 50th year anniversary of the Immaculate Reception, and Franco Harris passing away, which really sucked. Really sucked for everybody. Baltimore won. They have clinched the playoffs, and they are trying to stay toe-to-toe with Cincinnati to clinch the division. So, Brandon, I ask you for Sunday Night Football, who do you got? Remember, the Pittsburgh Steelers, there is no tomorrow. If they lose one more, it's over. Regardless of the situation, it is over. And for the Ravens, they need to keep winning. And you know these games. So, Brandon, I ask you, do you got the Ravens or do you got the Steelers?
If Lamar was playing, I would have Baltimore. But he ain't playing. So I got Pittsburgh. If Lamar was playing, I got Baltimore. They're at home. They would be at home. They got J.K. Dobbins back. They got a lot. Rashad Bateman is back. Everybody. But Lamar's not there. It's just, I don't trust that situation. Like you just said, out of all the games to miss him, this is the game. This and next week are the two games where it's just like, ugh, I don't want to play in these two games. Cincinnati could be for the division, which that could be the Sunday night game, depending on what happens Monday in this game. But if I got Pittsburgh, I don't trust Kenny Pickett as much, but I trust Pittsburgh's defense to do what they do best, and that's T.J. Watt. I expect him to come in, do his thing, and you're literally asking me if it's Kenny Pickett or Tyler Huntley. And Mike Tomlin or John Harbaugh. It's pretty much what you're asking me. Like, And I think Mike Tomlin finds ways to win regardless. And that Pittsburgh defense finally looked like a Pittsburgh defense. It's been a minute. I've seen it. I haven't seen that defense in a while. Mika Fitzpatrick was picking off the ball, doing this thing. I mean, I think the defense gets this team the victory. So I got Pittsburgh. They keep their season alive at least for another week.
This was really hard because I love both, man. I love both. I love the style of both defenses, how they're playing. They're winning regardless of the offense, of how it's running. And it sucks for me to do this, but I'm actually going to go Baltimore in this one. Only because they're at home. I think and the thing is this too. Tyler Huntley at least is a little bit more of a veteran.
Yeah.
And Kenny Pickett has still shown that, yes, you make some good decisions, but then there's some decisions you make, and I'm just like, what are you doing, dude? Like, there was nobody there. Why are you? He literally threw it to Denzel Perryman. Like, the next receiver next to Denzel Perryman was 15 yards away. And I'm kind of like, what are you doing, dude? Like, what are you doing, dude? And again, that just goes back to quarterback play. That goes back to experience. And Kenny's going to get better. Pickett is going to get better. Najee looks like he's himself again. But the problem is, like you just mentioned, the running game is still there for Baltimore. And the defense can actually match up with Pittsburgh. And I'm not saying that John Harbaugh is that much better than Mike Tomlin. But the problem is that I don't care. I get it. TJ Watt is back, but even then, it's just that offense for Pittsburgh is still bad, regardless of the situation. And Baltimore has shown that they can actually start scoring now. So I'm going to go with Baltimore in this one. Very close. I think it's going to be a very close game than what people think it is. And I'm going to go with Baltimore in this one.
I want to say, like, they just met in Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago. This was the tightest fucking game I've ever seen in the NFL season. This was fucking...
That's what I'm saying. I think it's going to be just like that. It's just...
Yeah.
I think this time what's going to kill it is that Kenny Pickett's going to be on the road. And I think this time the mistakes are actually going to catch up to him.
Yeah.
So it's just... Now, would it surprise me if Pittsburgh wins? Absolutely the fuck not. Absolutely not. But they need this. Like, they need this win. So it is what it is. And lastly, the last Monday Night Football game of the year. And boy, what two teams they put for this one. This is great. This is so great. I'm so glad that they put this on. It is the Buffalo Bills traveling to Cincinnati. Now, Buffalo, they've already won the AFC East. There is nothing else these teams can do. Buffalo Bills own the AFC East again. They have to travel to Cincinnati. And if you haven't been paying attention, Cincinnati in December was freaking dangerous. Nobody wanted to play them. Nobody wanted to do anything with them. Ask New England. Ask Bill Belichick. Ask Kansas City. Ask a lot of these teams that are like favorite and respected and tell them how it was to play Cincinnati, whether they were on the road or they were at home. This sucks because Buffalo is trying to get because here's the thing, Buffalo is on the same pace as Kansas City because they both need home field advantage. And here's Cincinnati going, oh, we'll play you on the road. I'll play you in Mars. But God forbid, if you give Cincinnati home field advantage throughout the whole playoffs, and you have to go through Cincinnati to get to the Super Bowl, nah, dog. That's just not good for your health. So, Brandon, I ask you, do you have the Bills or do you have the Bengals?
I got Cincinnati. I got Cincinnati. Listen. Yes, December, Joe Burrow. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see that at all. You don't want to see that. But it's not just that. Something that people don't understand is that Cincinnati's actually learned how to run the fucking ball. Like,
and not with just one running back, with two. With two now.
Samaje Perine, Joe Mixon. You got 3 wide receivers that can at any moment go for 100 yards. At any moment, it just be their game tonight. I don't look at, listen, for the last couple of weeks, same thing with Kansas City is the same thing I'm seeing with Buffalo. This might be the game with a Von Miller injury catches them. This might be the game.
And we got to sit here and act like Josh Allen is not playing really good football, right? Because he's not. He's turning the ball over.
I need people to truly understand that they can't run the ball.
Now, James Cook had a good game last week, but that's about it.
Like, they can't run the ball, and Josh Allen can't be your whole fucking offense. Like, this is getting to the point where it's like, I don't even know if you know how bad this shit is, but Monday is going to show you how bad this shit is. Yes, Trey Henderson has got a broken wrist. The man is still out there with a cast on, still trying to get fucking sacks. Sam Hubbard, I don't know if he's going to play this Monday. I don't know.
As of right now, he's questionable. And here's the thing with Sam Hubbard. If he has any chance of playing, he's playing.
He's playing. And it's like, dude, oh my God, this is the game where I said this. Kansas City bet not to fucking lose in the next 2 weeks. Because if Cincinnati beats Buffalo, they got 2 wins over them. Kansas City and Buffalo, they jump. They get the number 1 seed. Especially if Baltimore lose, because then they win a division. It's like this is all shit. I trust Cincinnati being at home.
Because here's the thing about Kansas City. This is the shittiest part. Kansas City had everything in their power, everything in the right path to clear it. And here's the problem where they lie now. If Buffalo wins, they're about to get number 1. Even if Kansas City wins the next 2, I expect Buffalo to win the next 2. But if Cincinnati wins, then the problem is Cincinnati owns the tiebreaker against Buffalo and Kansas City, and Cincinnati now jumps both of them. So right now, Kansas City is looking at this like, well, fuck.
Yeah, they beat Chicago. They were supposed to be Chicago. But I'm talking about the Miami game. They offensively look stacked. I don't know what the fuck that was. For most of that game, I didn't know what the fuck that was. Like, it didn't look good.
It was not pretty. It was not pretty.
We haven't seen Buffalo really have to deal with a team like Cincinnati, where they have weapons everywhere, even in the backfield, and they can protect. This is going to be the game where the Von Miller injury kind of kicks in, and you're going to see Buffalo kind of struggle to get to Joe Burrow, and that's their ass. Because if they can't get to Joe Burrow, he's going to light that that secondary up. Because I just saw Tua do it. I just saw Tua, and we just literally had a conversation about Tua. It's just like, I saw Tua, and Tua's not even the best quarterback of that draft.
And that's the thing. What do you think Joe Burrow can do? Like, that's the crazy part. Like, I want people to start realizing this. There's a new guy in town. And I get it. Josh Allen is electric. Patrick Mahomes is amazing. But if Joe Burrow can pull this off, then we really have to start putting Joe Burrow up there with the Mahomes, the Josh Allens is. Like, we have to stop pretending like Joe Burrow is not elite. Because he is. He is.
I need people to understand something. Because of look at the draft Joe Burrow was in. He was first. Tua was second. Justin was third. Tua might not make the playoffs because of injury. For not good reason, but for a reason. And Justin Herbert is making this first. And we're literally sitting here right now saying, if Cincinnati gets the number 1 seed, everybody's in fucking trouble. Because Joe Burrow could literally take them to the Super Bowl. Even if he got to go on the road, he can still get to the Super Bowl. Do we still need to have this goddamn conversation?
No, I think people have to start realizing. For people out there that are not putting... For the people out there that don't want to believe that Joe Burrow is just as good as Patrick, he's shown you 3 times in a row already. He's just as good as Patrick. I want people to start understanding that Joe Burrow is that fucking guy. And if he wins this one, then we have to stop pretending. People have to stop pretending that Joe Burrow, and I don't want to hear it. Oh, well, he has a great defense and he has a great cast. So does Patrick Mahomes and so does Josh Allen, but you guys don't want to count that. So again, I ask you, because I ask you, and here's the thing: Joe Burrow had it harder because he had to take over the team that sucked just 2 years prior, and now they're Super Bowl hopefuls every year now. So again, I ask you, what is it about Joe Burrow that you guys don't like? Because this dude did everything he had to do to be that dude.
I need people to understand something. Everything y'all say Justin Herbert is, Joe Burrow really fucking is. He has took this team out of nowhere to success. Everything that Justin Herbert is supposed to be, Joe Burrow has shown and proven he is.
And I get it. He might not have the same numbers as a Patrick Mahomes. He might not have the same numbers as the same stat lines as Josh Allen. But turn the cameras off, turn everything off, and just really talk to people. Your choices are this dude or this dude. There's not a lot of many times that a lot of people will pick this dude over Joe Burrow. There's not a lot of quarterbacks in this league. Not that many.
Not at all.
So even if you were to tell me right now, Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow, I'm going to be straight up with you. I'm going to go with Joe. I'm going to go with Joe.
You know how many quarterbacks played Bill Belichick's defense for the first time? They don't have no success. This man had 22 points in the first half.
This man literally went, had 3 incompletions in the second half.
This man had 22 points in the first half against the daunted Patriots defense. Do we really need to have this conversation?
No,
Seriously,
the dude's legit. The dude's legit.
Oh my God.
So and honestly, in a close game like this, if it was any other situation, I would go Buffalo. But because of the situation that we're at, I'm gonna have, because Cincinnati's defense can match up with Buffalo's. The offense is just as good, maybe even better than Buffalo's right now. And the special teams unit, forget it. It's even. I'm only going to go with Cincinnati because they're at home. If Buffalo wins, great. Problems. You don't.
Buffalo's got to learn how to run the ball. Cincinnati can run the ball. Cincinnati can run the football. And also something that we don't want to talk about, Buffalo's offensive line has been getting Joe Burrow hit, Josh Allen hit a lot recently.
And last time I checked, Joe Burrow has actually been standing upright in the last month, and it's scary to think what happens if you give him that much time. That's why he went number 1, because of shit like this. So it is what it is. But other than that, that's it, folks. Those are our picks. We made it. So like I said, week 18, it's going to be a little weird because there's going to be games on Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to do our show on Friday. So no more Thursday. And after that, we got playoffs. So we'll see how that goes. And then other than that, season's almost over, man. That's it. Just this week, next week, and that's it. Regular season's over. We get into the playoffs, and then that's it, man. But we'll worry about that later. But Brandon, as always, thank you so much for joining, my man. I want to thank everybody that's going to tune in later. I want to thank everybody that did tune in today, whether it was Instagram, YouTube Live, everything like that. Tune in later. You can watch it on replay here at the All Sports Talk podcast on the Instagram page or Jack's Wild YouTube page. It's all there for you. You can rewatch it anytime you want. But until then, Brandon, I will see you next week, my man. You enjoy this week, and everybody else enjoy your weekend as well. Happy New Year to everybody. Take care, be safe, and we'll see you next week. Peace.